Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining this sharing session. My name is David Teo. I'm the Executive Director of Stacks. And first of all, a big thank you to SFA for inviting me to this the founders launch, actually, to share a little bit about my experience and also, of course, to help everyone to understand, how does it feel like to be working in startup. Okay, and I myself actually, if you can see, I've been in banking actually for more than 25 years. Okay, and then I switched over to a startup, and the name is Stacks actually. So I'll start off with a self-introduction. Then maybe I'll just cover a little bit on my company, what we do and how we help the industry. And then maybe I'll just end off with some, some of the key lessons that I've learned, working at a startup, after 2 years. Okay, I think that may help some of you who may be interested to embark on the career, okay, in the startup. Then of course, I'll cover things like, what's the culture, the personalities, we basically look for the new joiners. Okay, so without further ado, I will start off with the self intro. Okay, so I'm like I mentioned earlier, I'm actually a banking veteran, and I decided to leave my comfort zone. Okay, sometime in late 2019, and make a career change from banking to fintech. Okay, and obviously, this is a digital transformation area, and I would say it's very exciting because although I have 25 years of experience in banking, mainly in client facing, but yet I never really get my hands dirty in terms of digital transformation. So I thought that this is really a very challenging jump, especially consider my obviously my 25 years in banking. What I've been doing is really client facing, basically managing the client expectation, fulfilling their needs, kind of thing, and doing the servicing. Yeah, and some of the key institution that I have been is actually include Bank of New York Mellon and BNP Paribas, and before that I was also with Bank of China, Moody's. Okay, so you can tell that I actually have quite a diversified experience in terms of banking, and obviously, those are really the traditional players, I would say. And so when I actually jump over to Stacks in 2019, that is really very exciting. And just to add a little bit more, Stacks is really a Singapore fintech startup. So it's something very different from even terms of culture, because although I've been in working for 25 years, but I have always been in a global institution culture. Okay, so that's totally different, I would say. So obviously, like I mentioned, basically, that's the key difference, I would say, to jump over to a Singapore startup and to help the industry, in terms of digital transformation. So, okay, so now moving on to Stacks. Okay, so Stacks is really a team, okay, so that is led by the industry veterans. So basically from the fin and tech, and with more than 30 years experience, and from some of the large financial institutions. Like for example, my Stacks chairman is Ray Ferguson. He's an ex CEO Standard Chartered Asia, and Ben, he's our co-founder, he's MD. And he's a fintech serial entrepreneur, and obviously he's a tech expert as well. So and then for us, because we are the industry veterans, so we decided to come together, because we have a calling, okay, to resolve the problem basically in the financial industry, okay, using our technology solutions. So our clients actually will include the global banks, the stock exchange, the asset managers, and we have live platform, and these clients, they have already enjoyed up to like 90% improvement in terms of efficiencies, and risk management, and also greater revenue capacity. And obviously also open up new opportunities in strategic verticals, for example, the sustainable finance. Okay, and we have won some awards as well. We have won the MAS FinTech 2020, And we are also awarded twice the FSTI grant, okay, which support the technology innovation in the financial sector. And other awards will include the Gartner, the ASET, and UBS. And obviously now, after 2 years, 2019 to 2021, I have gone through my national service and 2 years, and definitely now I can share a little bit more about how does it feel like, working in the startup. And of course, a little bit of disclaimer here. My sharing is not entirely based on stats. It's also based on some of the what I see, in other startups as well, so that I think you'll make it more complete. Okay, and okay, so what are the key lessons, okay, that I learned? Okay, so I felt that is I would say synergy is something that is very important in startup, because that is success is really is belong to normal people, like myself. I think I'm a very normal guy who are able all to work together and to able to achieve more. And the greatest sense of achievement, obviously, is when a group of normal people like myself are able to really come together and work as a team. So what it takes is really everyone to do their best in their role, own the role, and then to be able to do something that none of us would be able to do as an individual. So I would say that I'm very happy with this team that I have. For example, in Stacks, is that everyone have the same visions and purpose. I think that's very important in any startup, that you got to follow the company visions and able to articulate well and know what you want to do in the company. Yeah, and obviously, especially now in this environment, we don't get to see each other physically that much. So this is very key, I would think, especially for someone working in a startup. Getting the right vision, the right mindset, and obviously there's lots of challenge that you have to go through during this, climate change, COVID-19 situation right now. Okay, so obviously, okay, when it comes to working together, and in a startup, it means that you may expand together as well. So, like for example, like my company, we used to start out with about 10 actually in 2019. Then after 2 years now, there's already 35 full headcount. Obviously, we also have interns or part-timers to work with us as well, so that will add up even more. But you can see the growth even in 2 years. It expanded 2 to 3 times, and so that means that communications become even more important. Yeah, so that is why that we have frequent I would say internal meetings as well, and for us to know to help each other in what we do, and to make sure that everyone is able to resolve their problem and they don't keep the problem to themselves, stuff like that. So, and obviously as a startup, we are a big fan of empowering team members. So so I think that's one of the key things that any startup would do, because we are small but we are nimble, and we need to be fast. And obviously I encourage people to take up leadership roles. So that means that the team members have more, I would say, much more opportunities to lead projects, and even, for example, have external client meetings, representing the company. So obviously, this is something that you will never, I would say, get to feel in a traditional or in a bigger companies. So this is something I felt is very exciting, and even for example, in some of the conference or events, team members are also encouraged to take the stage and be a presenter or be a speaker. Okay, so this is something that really, again, if you're working in the traditional bank, for example, normally you'll be the senior guys who will get this opportunity. But in a startup, it could be anyone actually. Yeah. So that would be something I would say that is very exciting and very challenging. And I do think that anyone who are interested, that could be something to think about if you feel that you want to take out that challenge. Okay. So now moving on, maybe I'll share a little bit more on the uh, personality or some of the general I would say expectation. Okay, working in the startup. So like I mentioned before, actually one of the key things is teamwork. And so that means that because since you are small, it's very important that you have to work together very well. Obviously, you also must be very keen to learn more, very curious and quick learner basically, and you must be always be very motivated, I would say. Um, Actually, this not obviously not apply to not only startup but any company. Basically, in this virtual environment, sometimes you have to be very motivated yourself, and but more importantly, like I say, communication. I think that would be the key things. Working in a startup as well, and definitely you have to be a self-starter, resourceful. I would say, own the task that you're doing. And in terms of business conduct, actually in the startup, we are very professional as well, even when it comes to business meeting. Yeah, so although we may be young, but when it comes to dealing with clients, we have to be very professional, I would say. Yeah, and but one thing to do take note is that you must be not afraid of long hours, able to handle stress, obviously, and maintain a very positive mindset. Okay, but what is more, I would think, exciting is that although, yeah, you may be working on long hours, that is because you need to meet specific deadline, but yet a startup can be also very flexible. For example, in terms of the working hours, yeah, I think what's more important is that you are able to add value and to contribute to the company. And yeah, like I said, in terms of personality, I think to me, especially, I feel that when you're working as a startup, you have to be like a sportsman. The sky's the limit. Don't be afraid to fear, because I think basically failure is just a way to success. Yeah, I think in Chinese proverb there's this thing like 失败乃是成功之母. Yeah, so it means that failure is the mother of success. So basically, I felt that to anyone who working in a startup, even when you are doing your job, do share with the co-founder or the senior management, that you want to try. You want to do this, you want to do that. Basically speak up. Yeah. And I'm sure most of the time the co-founder will listen, and of course they listen, and then they will give you some guidance and and support you. And of course, if you do succeed, the co-founder will understand, and then obviously then we'll work together to see what has gone wrong, and then we will try to make it a success. Yeah. So that would be more, I would say, one of the key things for working in a startup. Then in terms of performance, yeah, performance, I think to take note is that it's not about seniority. It's really about how you perform actually. So in each individual, as long as you own your role and your responsibility, yeah, and you step up to it and you meet all the KPI, I would say that you are already achieved your target and you can perform well. So obviously the company will reward accordingly. Yeah, in terms of skill set, I would say it depends on which startup you go. For example, like my company Stacks, we really tend to prefer someone from finance or tech, obviously. That's why it's fin and tech, right? So fintech, right? So we have a slight preference for that. Reason why finance is because our clients are B2B. and mostly, like I mentioned, the banks, the asset managers and stock exchange. And tech, obviously, we are a technology company, so anyone with a tech background would also, help, in any startup. And obviously, you need to be an all-rounder, because many times when a startup, they do not have all the policies or procedures all in place yet. I would say that. So I think this is something that is very important. So you don't come in and just strictly just follow the rules. So sometimes you even have to make suggestion and help, to set up some rules and policies, for example. Yeah. So this is something that what is important, that you have to be all rounder. You cannot just just think that you want to stick to be doing what you're doing. You could be doing multiple things. For example, myself, I'm business development, but yeah, I'm also taking care of marketing. So you can imagine, although I don't have any marketing background in my 25 years in banking, but yet when it comes to stats, I actually taking over marketing, and I have to help to promote, for example, what we are doing, and obviously marketing in a way ties in very well with business development. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. And culture-wise, I think I would say that most startup anyway believe in teamwork, and are very diversified. And I think yeah, and I think that's really it. I think especially for Singapore startup, it's all about diversity. My company itself, as you can tell, we have people from like 20 over years experience, and people who are just freshly out from school, and we have people from all nationality actually. We have from people from Singapore, Malaysia, India, Philippines actually. Yeah, and in terms of gender, of course, we also have both a well mix of gender as well. Yeah. So yeah, so I think it's really very exciting to work in the startup. Yeah, I will stop here for a while because I think there maybe could be a Q&A from some of the audience.
Yeah, how many percent of your startup is women? 50% or more?
50, actually it's 50-50. I think it's even more actually right now. I think it's about 60%. Yeah, about 60% women and actually 40% men. Yeah, yes, and we have quite a number from overseas actually, including India. Yeah. Is it the same for you as well? The company for your startup?
Mine is almost 50%, 50-50, around there.
There as well.
Yeah, because there are a lot of, I think tech is an area that gender biases, you got opportunity to get rid of it. You get people more inclusive.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I feel that the diversity part is very important. Yeah, and we do appreciate that. I think even for Don, for yourself, although I just get to know you, I believe it's the same, that you believe diversity, helps a lot.
Yeah, then you get more ideas, you see. Otherwise, if everybody thinks the same way, you're stuck in certain areas, especially now. Your problems sometimes really totally unexpected. You need to find a way to get it around it, right? So the more ideas, the different backgrounds you have, you may not have 100% of solution, but maybe 10%, 1% of solution, it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else has questions for David? I think he has a wealth of experience to share with you.
Yes, yeah.
Or maybe I'm a bit interested, what's the tech stack you're using for your site?
The tech stack, we are actually in blockchain.
Oh, okay, in blockchain.
Yeah.
So you're on which the Ethereum side or what?
Ethereum.
Ethereum, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's interior core.
Yeah, because
So
most of the finance also are doing Ethereum, right?
all right, yeah. And obviously right now, if you have heard about the like sustainable finance, so that's something that we are using. We actually just have an announcement by MAS. We are building up this ESG registry. With our blockchain solution. So means that all the certification and data will be uploaded into the ESG registry. And from various financial institutions, and also the certification agencies.
I see. But the certification agency, is there anybody that actually so the certification agency is the one that verifies whether people who claim that they are sustainable are actually sustainable?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is where I think it'll be very exciting. Yeah.
Is there a mechanism for somebody who says, "Hey, I don't think this one is true," and they can provide evidence for like whistleblowers, lah? How does that come in?
You mean someone that who thinks that it doesn't work, is it?
No, who thinks that this person claimed to be sustainable actually is not.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's why it's very important that we need these certification agencies to be supporting. Yeah. So that will be and the single source of truth, obviously, it will come from the blockchain as well, because it's also immutable, and it's as you know, it's also accessible to all participants. Yeah.
Okay.
So any other questions from anyone? So because it's really to help anyone who is interested to have a career in startup.
Okay. For those people, they want to have career in startup, they'll sure ask how much they get paid, what they're going to get paid. I think probably you can give them a range, give them a rough idea.
A range. Good question. I think it also depends on which position that you go for. But obviously, I would say that at least most, I think all people who join us actually have got the same pay as before, what they have, and some even got a pay agreement. Yeah. So obviously, I think you don't have to be afraid that you'll be getting less. Yeah. Yes. Shu, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry because just now I was also on another thing, so that's why I came in a bit late. But technically, because of COVID, that's why I came back to Singapore. I used to look after. I'm still basically waiting to wait for the borders to open. So I'm actually specialized in consulting for companies, regional basis, for focusing on Southeast Asia markets. So you can see from my background, actually from the watch industry. So I do consulting for independent watchmakers, like Citizen Groups, Citizen Group as in the Citizen Watch, Grand Seiko, etc. So these are some of my projects that I've done. So I came back. Since I come back for 1 year, I've been trying to also help startup to try to, especially our local startup, to try to reach overseas. So along this 1 year, I came across this fintech and blockchain thing, which I find is very interesting. And there are a lot of possibility that I always think that maybe I can try to help local startup to try to go regional. That was actually what I was thinking of doing. Since next year I'll be based in Cambodia in June, and then be working with the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce. But before we begin all this, is that when you said about startup in fintech, what's the environment like right now? Because I have no inside clue of what is, and David, maybe you can share more so you can help me as well.
So startup, actually, to be honest, I would say it's in a way it's very competitive as well. Like it or not, obviously everyone I think there's hundreds and even thousands of startups in Singapore alone, and not everyone obviously can grow. I think what is more important is you have to find your unique value proposition. Like for us, I think one of the most unique is that we are interoperable, that we can integrate with the existing market infrastructure. So that means that we don't remove or the current market infrastructure, but yet we integrate with them, with the systems and the platforms, and that will save out a lot of integration costs and time. So I think that's one very key thing, and obviously we got a lot of support as well. For example, I mentioned that we got this MAS FSDI grant that helps a lot, and especially when you're working with together with financial institutions and other clients. I think that's where I think marketing also is very important. So these are the few things that I feel that it's very key to start up, like the branding and the value propositions. And I think for consulting, yes, we do get a lot of help as well. For example, we work with PwC as well, very closely them. They are one of our partners. So all these channel partners, I would say is quite key to our expansion, to any startup expansion actually. So how close you are working, for example, with consulting company like PwC, EY, or anyone, and of course with your clients, if you are able to partner with them on projects or even to build up something that can go live, I think that will be I would say the key to success. Yeah, and obviously then if you want to go for funding, for us, we already went for pre-series A funding, and and next year we could possibly be looking at a series A funding. Yeah, so that's how we can grow. And I believe consultant like yourself, that could also maybe come in handy as well, that you can really be the right person, the right expert to guide, provide, to support the startup, in the expansion. Yeah, I hope that helps to give you a little bit of flavor. Yeah, but it's really very challenging. Yeah, it's very I think Don would know as well at Echo. In the startup world, really it's very different, but it's a good challenge, I would say, because you just have to really step up and deliver, because what you are doing for any startup is always very meaningful, because you are trying to do something to change the world, for example, and to make the world a better place. Yeah.
I mean, it helps if you're passionate about your cause. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the passion, I think Don mentioned right word. Yeah, the passion is very important. Yeah. Okay, any more questions from anyone? Okay, if not, Agnes, do we end here? Like, because now it's overrun, yeah. So yeah.
I think we can end here right now.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I don't want to take up time.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yes, before I